So we're going to make this delicious wintertime. No, it's not necessary. You can have it anytime, but it's bean soup. And this is the night before. So I'm taking, and you can have any kind of bean you want. We kind of like this pinto bean, which is very delicious with ham hocks. But we're going to make bean soup, so I'm going to open this bag of beans, pour it in the colander, and with it you'll notice there's this ham seasoning pack. We don't use that because we're going to put a ham hock in this tomorrow. This is the night before, but we need to rinse these off. You want to wash your beans. Not always, but sometimes you can find little twigs or bad beans in there. It's called looking at your beans, but I'm just going to dump them in there. Fill this up with water. If we have any floating beans, those are bad beans. You want to pick those out. But take a bowl that's large enough that you can put over twice the amount of water as you have beans. And we're going to let these sit overnight before we start to cook them. So there they are. We're just going to let them set overnight. I don't see any floaters. I don't see any twigs. We'll come back tomorrow and show you how we cook these. So now our beans have been soaking in this water for, so you spend about 24 hours. You can go longer than that, but 24 hours is about all you really need. And now we're ready to drain them. We'll just pour those through a strainer. And we're ready to cook them. So we have the old Dutch oven. Yep, it looks well used, but it's tried and true. This has been used for many years and looks it, I know. But we're going to put the burner for now on medium high, just so we can get it started. And I'm going to go ahead and put the beans in. Along with the beans, I'm going to put in a smoked ham hock picked up at the local grocery store. This is the smoked ham hock, and this is going to give us some great flavor. The package comes with two. I only need one for this size pot of bean soup, and I just take the other one and I shrink wrapped it and put it inside the freezer, and these freeze just fine. I'm going to dig a hole for it to be down there in the bottom. And then also, we need to put some water in, and I'm going to put in 8 cups of water. There we go. And that's all there is to it for the next hour and a half. We're going to let that cook. I'm going to cover it up. Once it comes to heat, I will turn that down to almost completely low, probably right on low, because I don't want it a high rolling boil. I want it to just simmer, and maybe even lower than that. And it'll take about an hour and a half. So we'll be back after that. So the beans are starting up. Like I said, I've got it on medium high. And as soon as that comes up to a boil, I want to reduce that to a simmer. But in addition to that, we want to put in a couple of bay leaves, maybe 3. Those are pretty small. 3 bay leaves. And we'll take those back out when we take the ham hock out, which we'll do next at about an hour and a half, and then we'll cut the meat all up. While I'm waiting for that, we'll cut up some carrots, onion, and let's see, carrots, onions, and celery. Mirepoix. I've moved the soup over to another burner because I need to make room for a frying pan. But it's been an hour and a half, and it's time to take this ham hock out of here. I'll put it on a cutting board and then let that cool off to where I can handle it. And I'm going to chop up the meat and get rid of the stuff we don't want. And I'll put that back inside the soup. And in the meantime, let me stir this real quick here just to see how it's looking. Something you can do about now is to take a bean and smash it on the side to see if it smashes. And if it does, you know that the beans are cooked well enough. We're going to cook this another hour after we get the vegetables in and we put those ham hock back in. So let's get the and this is our mirepoix. It's French for our carrots, onions, and celery. And you want to cut them to a size that's about the size of a bean. You know, you want, when you're eating the soup, you don't want any big chunks in there. So we're going to cook these in some butter. When we're cooking our vegetables, to do this properly, we need to use about 2.5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. The reason I say unsalted is because that ham hock has a lot of salt in it. So we don't want this soup to get tasting too salty. So you may need to add salt. It depends on a lot of things, but we'll be on the safe side, and we'll only add salt once we have a taste to see if it needs it. My guess is it won't need it. So typically, I mean, we'll see people do this with olive oil, but the true French approach to doing a mirepoix for base for soups is to do it in butter. We don't want to brown it or change the color, other than maybe the carrots will change a little in color. But we're just trying to sweeten them, so we don't want to brown them. So I've got it on medium-low. I'm going to pay close attention so I don't brown these at all. I just want to make sure I keep them stirred up. So basically we've heated it through. We'll let that go until it's ready. All right, now that has sweated down, just before we're ready to finish with it, we're going to take 1 teaspoon, which is about 2 cloves of garlic, if you use this granulated garlic already. We're going to let that just warm up. Again, we don't want to brown it or anything. We just want the flavor. You can tell when it's ready when you can smell the garlic cooking. And then we'll just incorporate that into the rest of the vegetables. Get that garlic flavor throughout. While that was cooking, that ham hock cooled down. It's a smoked ham hock, and I was able to get the bone and the skin off, and I took the ham meat off of it and chopped it up to bite size, not smaller than bite size, but about the size of a bean. And we'll add that in at the same time we add this mirepoix back into the bean soup. So now I can go ahead and add these vegetables into the soup. I've heard this also I've heard it called Senate bean soup, but because they used to serve it in the Senate cafeteria. But you look at the recipe for that, they didn't add carrots to theirs. I like carrots, so that adds a lot of flavor to the soup. And we're going to add that ham into the soup. Remember, we got 3 bay leaves in there, and we'll take those out once we before we serve it. But on this cold, rainy day, there's nothing more hearty and satisfying than some bean soup. So we're going to let this go for another hour, and then we'll take it out and serve it. All right, it's time to serve the bean soup with ham, or smoked ham hock. So I just ladle some into my bowl. I like to have some cornbread with it, some butter on that cornbread, and enjoy. It did need some salt and pepper, and I'll be honest with you, I also, maybe not as healthy, but I did take a big, about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease and I put in there just to give it some more flavor. But this is delicious. I hope you enjoy it. Our delicious bean and ham hock soup with cornbread. Enjoy. Thanks for watching the video. We hope to see you in the next one. Please subscribe. Have a great day.